Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 354, and today we're going to be doing battle with Tristana Garen. And so, this is our first video of the 4.4 patch. That is the balance patch coming out of the Glory for Navori. That is the one where we saw some minor nerfs to Ashe and Karma. We saw some nerfs to the Plunder package surrounding Samira, but then we saw some buffs to some other cards. The Killing Strike from Shadow Isles, and then the likes of Azir and Nasus all getting a boost. But the card I was really wanting to look at and take focus on today is Bandle Gunners. This is a card that we made the comparison to Corridor Creeper. If you were a Hearthstone player from a decade ago, you might remember that card running amok for a while. It's one of those cards that had to be nerfed multiple times over the course of its lifespan, and then it eventually just got nerfed to oblivion as it was reduced from a 5/5 unit to a 2/5. But Bandle Gunners, we're seeing if it can carry on that torch, carry on that strength of the 5/5 unit that has a cost reduction aspect tied to it. And I think it's kind of interesting that we get the cost reduction Bandle Gunners right in the same patch we're seeing the cost increase on Wiggly Burblefish, another cost reduction card. And so we'll see how this comes to play and comes into fruition. And so, first and foremost, the big thing I want to say with this style of deck is Bandle Gunners suffers the same fate that Tristana does, in that they both have pretty big attack. Your opponent can block it with a small 1/1 unit, and they don't get the opportunity to deal that much damage. Both of these units do have impact, so that idea is kind of mitigated a little bit, but with these cards, it's very important to have ways to either elusive, rally, or overwhelm. And so the most common idea you're going to be seeing with Tristana is just playing Might. That's not a deck I wanted to dive into. I don't think that's very innovative, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that over the course of the next few days as people just say, oh, yeah, I remember that the Tristana deck from a while ago with the Reveler's Feasts and everything. I'm just going to kind of copy that card for guard, add in Bandle Gunners, and see how it goes. I'm looking to move a little bit differently from that, and the cards that I start to look towards are how do we get these multi-faction cards that aren't garbage, right? A lot of these multi-faction cards just aren't very good. Grandfather Faye doesn't really have the multi-faction package running around with him anymore. The little Fays aren't that exciting. We need something to build upon that just isn't weak, or we need to take these weak units and make them not shitty. And so the way that I look towards that is Demacia. I don't really like the idea of playing Jax. Jax Tristana is another deck you're going to see a bit of. I think that if you're looking towards Jax, you get the same good cards out of Demacia without limiting yourself to playing Weapon Masters. And so if you're playing Jax, you're going to play Fish Fight, you're going to play Combat Cook, and then the cards after that all suck. And so I'm not a huge fan of Jax either. But if we do go look into playing Demacia, we get a few things that really add into this strategy that I think might make it something a little special. And so we do get access to the Combat Cook. To me, he is arguably the best multi-faction card in the game. We're only playing 2 copies instead of 3 because he does tend to clog up your hand and be fairly expensive. But right out the gates, I will say we probably need to consider playing 3 copies of Combat Cook. Otherwise, we're playing a bunch of ways to boost the size of our units. So we have the 3 copies of Garen, the 2 copies of Genevieve, and then the 2 copies of Inspired Late to give our big boards all of these bonus attacks. And so we're going to come down and play a bunch of crappy units. We're going to have our Bandle Commandos and Grandfather Fays just kind of sitting around. But if we get the Grandfather Fay down, we give it an equipment from a Wandering Shepherd and then play an Inspired Light a few turns later. That turns the dude that would typically just be a landmark into a pretty potent unit. And so those are the strategies we're looking to mainly build on. The last kind of things I want to call about is we are playing Champion Strength. This is the premier rally card in the game. We've already mentioned you have to be able to rally, elusive, or overwhelm, and this is going to be our rally of choice. But we're also looking to take advantage of Cataclysm. And so Cataclysm does work with impact. So if we have, say, a Tristana with 3 or 4 impact on her, we can potentially Cataclysm into a unit, get the kill. She's pretty strong there because she has quick attack, but then also get some impact damage. Same kind of thing applies with Bandle Gunners. This is another good unit to be sending off to battle with the Cataclysm. But the other tie-in that I wanted to get with Cataclysm was playing a scout unit, and that's where we get extra synergies out of Genevieve. And so if we have Genevieve on board, it's the opponent's attack token. We don't have a token. That sucks. We play the Cataclysm. The Cataclysm sees only the single unit attacking. That unit has scouts, so we get another rally out of it. And so I like having these multiple synergies with the Cataclysm between working with Impact, working with Genevieve and her having Scout, and then giving us a way to also get Garen into combat if he needs to be, and then having Quick Attack on Tristana. So it has a lot of very good targets in the deck. And so that's it. That's what we're going to be doing battle with today. Let's go ahead and jump on in. I think are the ranked queues up? I was playing ranked earlier, and then I saw the little indicator up at the top right that usually means the ranked queues are down. But looks like we're getting in. Looks like we're diving on into battle. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Started off against some Lurk. They didn't get the memo that a new patch came out, just outplaying the dumbest deck ever made. Didn't get the memo. All right, though. Man, as I was like assembling this deck, I just kept looking and looking and looking. And it's like, where's Poppy? Where's Poppy? Where's Poppy? Poppy would feel so good in this format, giving us that extra really high-powered card that is multi-faction, but she's not here, man. She got banished to the lands of Eternal. All right, opponent coming at us, hitting their Lurk. Let's see if we can't start to get on board, shut them down a little bit. Can look to go for a Grandfather Fay just to try and get a little bit of width, but I think we can probably save that for next turn. I want to lead off with the Grumble Slug here, because if he comes at us with the Snapjaw Swarm, there we go. I like having the unit on board that can just go ahead and get the takedown. And so Grandfather Fay wouldn't have been able to stop that unit. And then, of course, our opponent appearing to be the luckiest person on the planet. I can't say that as I just skipped our attack. I was gonna comment on the luck fiesta that comes about from people in their usage of the Snapjaw Swarm, but I skipped our attack, and so I can't talk trash anymore. So who are we looking to take out of these? I kind of like the idea of Piltover Castaway just because it's the most mana efficient, although the Blastcone Seedling starts to look a little bit better a couple of turns from now as our opponent gets 4 and 5 and 6 Lurk, and then we're trying to, oh boy, Rek'Sai, and we're trying to just throw down blockers. Coming down with Barrier and then having a unit survive is a fairly good deal. All right, but this one not looking so hot. This is a real pain point, them hitting the Lurk and then hitting the Rek'Sai. I think we need to try and start to get this Tristana popping off, and then next turn, maybe we'll get some usage out of the Cataclysm. But we can get the Tristana down. Grandfather Fay can come down and give her a little bit of a boost. We have a decent attack here with the Bandle City Mayor, so I'll probably send it into the Bakai as well. See what we can't pick up here. These decks typically don't play interactivity outside of Pike. I can't remember the last time I saw a Bone Skewer or a Combat Trick come in, so I feel like the attack with Bandle City Mayor was pretty good. Now that puts us in kind of an interesting spot to where our opponent doesn't have any units on the board, and if they play something expensive, there is a chance that we could come in and just hit it with the Cataclysm, but the Zerzarath is going to be a little bit too big for us to pull that kind of thing off. Let's just go ahead and get the Castaway in. He's most certainly got a Lurk on top. Probably going to be a Rek'Sai, right? Because he already hit the Rek'Sai once. So all the big stats, all the big skills come in. We're a little bit short of being able to take it down. But I think we do want to go ahead and put some damage on it. We can pop it with the Buster Shot next turn. And so it does warrant taking a little bit of putting a little bit of damage onto this thing. There's that. Let's get our Owlcat on board, and now we have to start making some decisions for this next round if we want to use Genevieve or Garen, or how we want to go about this. I think we probably just lead off with the Buster Shot, right? Especially now that we pick up Grumble Slug, letting us get a little bit extra mana usage out of the turn. So we're looking to probably play Grumble Slug, play Garen, play Pot of Pain, and then get to attack with the whole team. The downside to this is if we would need to, say, Genevieve Cataclysm next turn, then we're not going to have the mana to do it, right? We would need 9 mana for the round. Oh, I was waiting on something to happen, and he came down and just missed his lurk. Okay, interesting. But this is okay. I think if we play the Garen but don't play the Pot of Pain, then we can do the Genevieve Cataclysm next turn. We may not have enough time to pull it all off, but I think it leaves us in a good spot. Opponent's going to have to make some bad blocks here just so they don't die. And then I don't think he's going to be able to open attack on us. One short, so there's no reason to even do that. So we messed this up a little bit. We probably should have stopped and thought about this a little bit more. we could have played the Pan of Pain and just gotten lethal. That's kind of thing number one. But now we're also in this spot to where we can Cataclysm into a lethal, right? So he plays a unit, we just hit it with the Cataclysm. The impact should be enough to end the game. All right, but this is a bummer though, right? We're leaving ourselves open to just getting killed by Pike, right? If he has the Pike to kill Tristana, then we just outright lose. Should have got ourselves in the spot to just win the game the turn before. But at the end of the day, victory has been unlocked and achieved. Well done, Bust. That's why you're the best in the world, according to ftpbust.com. I don't know why Riot doesn't pull that out, you know. In the patch notes, they talked about all the people that just... oh, wow, look how expensive this hand is. All the people that just won their open tournaments. There was absolutely no mention of the best player in the world, according to ftpbust.com. It's a tragedy, if you ask me. But all right, up against Evelyn Nora. Interesting. I'm not entirely certain what's going to be coming at us here, but I feel like we should be pretty safe to start dropping Tristanas as early as possible. We don't need to take this route to where we need to, kind of bait out removals. I guess the opposing deck could have hate spikes, which would be unfortunate to lose our Tristana too. But, I mean, if he wants to hate spike Nora into Tristana, I feel like that's a bit of a win for us anyways. Send it in. The one health loss onto Tristana shouldn't matter. I guess that's not entirely true. You can spend a whole bunch of mana to kill her with the pastry, the pie toss. But I just had in my head we're thinking of either 3 damage coming from a hate spike or 1 damage coming from things like the pastry toss or the group shot or whatever. I think she'll ultimately be safe here, but may have been a little bit dangerous with her. All right, and so we're gonna get to drop the Tenor of Terror. Gonna get a big tick up on our Tristana. It's worth noting this counts as 2 units for our Bandle Commandos as well. Our Bandle Gunners, our Bandle friend, whatever it's gonna be. So where's he at? This is a rough spot since his Evelyn is face down at the moment. I was trying to see how many deaths she's seen. Show me somewhere. She not seen any? Is that why it doesn't have any text on her? She attacked for damage last turn though. I don't know, game. That's a little suspicious. But we should at least have a pretty big round of impact and big attackers here. As long as our Tristana is big enough to not die to Evelyn when she attacks, then I'll feel pretty good about this turn. How many animations do you have to watch? Jesus. So do we want to swing with everybody? That's what I was kind of initially thinking, was we're just going to attack with everybody. He's going to get like 2 good blocks. I guess he'll have 3 because he has the Salter in front of a 1 health unit, and then we're going to hit for say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's pretty close to the lethal. When we have the Cataclysm with Tristana, I think it's probably worth it. Right, so I mean, he's... I assumed he was going to put the Salter in front of a 1 health unit, but he's probably going to need to move this Salter to Tristana, right? Because we're just... well, we were close to killing them. we were close. Didn't quite get there with the wallop coming in. But that was a nice chunk of damage. We should get a pretty good refill on our board before we have to attack again as well. Not used to these husks. It's so weird seeing the whatever version of Evelyn this is. Oh man, are we just gonna go for a judgment next turn? I haven't had this interaction happen, but I mean, if we say judgment off of a Tristana, the impacts all count, right? So when this strikes while attacking, and with the judgment the unit would be attacking, I'm just gonna go for it. I don't even care what the best strategy is anymore. This is what we're going to have happen next turn, and it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. All right, that's not lethal. Don't care. We gotta get 4 units in combat. But man, we're gonna be one short, right? We're gonna be 1 damage short if we impact 8. No, because Tristana will get no. Well, Tristana should get a strike, but she's gonna kill whatever blocks her. Oh man, we need another Grumble Slug. We're 5 mana Bandle Gunners. Okay. It is what it is. We're going for it. Oh, gotta hope he doesn't have more Evelyns in hand. No more Evelyns. We got Minimorph. What a lame-o, dude. Out here just trying to do cool stuff. At least he didn't hit our Garen with it, then we couldn't have played the Judgment. Alright. Well, not as awesome as one would have dreamed, but sometimes you just gotta take your shot, you know? Alright, what does he still have on board here? This is Evelyn, right? Such a weird picture, man. What is this? Spirit Blossom. Alright, I don't think we're just dead. Looks like we're safe. At least for the moment. He's only got 2 attackers on board. We got 2 blockers. The little prey token doesn't have challengers, so tough to see all of these. Interesting. Some kind of shenanigan is afoot. But let's go ahead and start adding stuff to the board. Adding the Grandfather Fae and the Owlcat cheapen up the Bandle Gunners a little bit. We're just a little short on mana in terms of being able to play everything, but can at least get 1 on board. Got a bunch of mana. Not entirely certain what his angle is here. Portopalooza, okay. It's like I'm trying to determine if there's an angle to where, you know, we Cataclysm the prey that does 3 damage, then we attack with everybody else, but Garen's not going to be surviving that attack. But I think we still want to say... like attack with the Bandle Gunners. Let's do it this way. Let's attack with the Bandle Gunners. He's going to block with the Prey, or he's going to block with the Kanaku Student. He's not going to block with Evelyn. I assure you, I give you the FTP bust guarantee he's not blocking with Evelyn. And now we can look to just Cataclysm into Evelyn and get her off of the board. Get that nice impact, though. Well done, Cataclysm. Bring in all the combos. Hopefully Bandle Gunners #2 can bring us the victory. Oh, and Genevieve. Dang. He can do some shenanigans in front of the Bandle Gunners, so I think I'm gonna be happy to drop Genevieve here. Right, if we attack, if we're really counting on the impact to get the kill, and we attack, and then he has a hate spike, doesn't feel good, and so I think we want to play that turn slow. All right, victory achieved. Not in the most spectacular fashion. We didn't get the big judgment OTK. they take Fiora out of the format, so you got to find your judgment OTKs another way, but. Good stuff still. Man, maybe we should just add judgment to the deck, right? That's always an option. It's always a possibility. This is the Bandle Gunners judgment. Interesting. All right, though. Up against the Reaver's Row. See what we can do here. We'll hang on to the Grandfather Fae. Look for some other cheap bros. They've been found. Come on, bud. You want to hang out? Got a cat wanting to hang out. Ready for a fresh hangout. First balance patch video. Make his way on. Oh, you're so dumb, bud. Come on. Oh. There we go. So what just happened? Opponent. That's the dumbest cat. The dumbest cat. I feel bad for some of these cats. They aren't the smartest ones in the world. All right, back to the action. The opponent played a unit on 1, made the facepalm right after for whatever reason, not entirely certain, and we're going to continue on here. I want to just flood the board with as much stuff as we can, because we need to get in combats before the Reaver's Rows start to happen, and so we'll just get all these little owls on the board. Don't have any good blocks this turn, but hopefully we can get some size, get some mass, get some bulk when the Inspired Light has a chance to come down. And so this is one of my big reasons for wanting to play Demacia, right? It's tough to have these Grandfather Faes actually do anything, right? If you're just going to sit around and have this one be a 1-2 and this one be a 2-2, they don't get a lot of opportunities to actually come out and block. But with things like Inspired Light and Garen and Genevieve and all of the equipment and everything, you have a chance to come out and make them a little bit bigger. All right, so it's too slow to go Bandle City Mayor here. I'm not quite ready to go for that. We could look to keep the Grandfather Fae, right? Because we're gonna make it grow, but it's just gonna come down and die. So I'm trying to think to what this deck plays. If we have to worry about a strike, Furious Wielder, right? Oh, he's not playing Noxus, right? That's a cultist card. So I think we're safe. They don't play any interactivity to the best I remember now. Now we can get a bunch of impact friends on the board. So can we go about it like this? We play the Bandle City Mayor. He doesn't do too much onto this board, but he's going to make our cards cost 1 less, and then we can play the Grandfather Fae for 1, and then the follow-up Owl for 1. Is that really worthwhile? Because then we can't Inspired Light if we go that way. We can look to just say, play the Grandfather Fae and the Bandle Commando, and then Inspired Light. How do we think about that? I don't think it's even that appealing. I think we just want to go for the impacts here. Let's do this. Let's add the Mayor. I'm leaning towards the Piltover Castaway. It's just again it kind of costs 1 mana if we're only paying 2 for it with the Mayor, and then 1 mana comes back with the Attune. You know, it might be enough to just want him and an Inspired Light afterwards. Want quick attack here. Didn't find it. Go overwhelm. So is this board really enough to drop an Inspired Light? I don't think so. I don't really feel ready to just trade away the likes of Grandfather Fae. So we'll keep our utility around. Poor Tristana running into Steam, but, you know, if she soaks up this Elegant Edge attack, I think that's kind of okay. Like, his open attacks with Steam aren't very good right now. Whoa, what are you doing? Just want to re-equip elsewhere? That's fine. I'm glad to see all these units go away. So we should get some opportunity to start dropping cards. It sucks to have some of these vulnerables pop out, but his open attack isn't very good. Steam gets the bonus. That's where things start to be problematic. But I think this will be fine. We can pretty much completely refill our board. So I think I want to start with the multi-faction. It's at least going to get to pick up impact, and then we can play a second Bandle City Mayor and use that one to get a secondary cheapness, whatever we should be calling that. The secondary cheapness is what's going to come in. And here I think we want the Combat Cook. Need to get like a bit of a high value card out of this now. Okay. That was not impressive. I don't know what else to say about that one, but I am not impressed with what just went down. But this next turn, we're a little bit short of where I would like to be. I think it's going to be okay, but I would like to be able to play Bandle Gunners and Genevieve, and we just don't quite have the mana to do it. So let's go ahead and drop in the Fishwhack. This might be a mistake as well, because it is really nice to be able to put Overwhelm onto Genevieve, and then have Genevieve come in and really clean house. Tristana. We're pretty far away from lethal. Like I think that's a safe assessment as to what's happened here, but we should be able to come pretty close to getting him just to give up his whole board.
Looking splendid, sir. Very mayoral.
So I'm going to add Trist. I'm going to add Combat Cook. We'll play Inspired Light after the fact. You know, we're not going to get the kill this turn. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Is he flipped? If we start attacking, he's going to flip. There's nothing we can do about that. I think we're dead. Scout attacks don't do anything here. So he's got 3 blockers, right? So if he blocks our 3 bigs, he's looking to take 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Are we going to be 1 short? Ah, disaster mode. No way.
Where are we going?
Look at that. Tristana's even 1 short of being able to take down the Zolani. F. Oh, it says it's lethal. I missed the Hungry Owlcat having Overwhelm. He needs to move the Zolani down to the Owlcat. He shouldn't be taking Overwhelm damage this turn. Well, alrighty then. Maybe opponent disagrees. He says it's too much, Bust. Your lights were too inspiring. GG. Alright, next battle. Oof. I don't know, I don't feel like we deserved that one, but... I think the thing that was interesting there was, you know, we got those Bandle Gunners down to 3, and how I kind of really felt about that. It seems fine. It seemed like that was an okay spot for it to be in. It just wasn't Like we started drawing stuff like Tristana's to where it was a little less important to drop it onto the board. Alright, though, up against Deep. This one gives me a bit of worry. We don't have a lot of the tools you need to take this deck down. We tend to be kind of mid-rangey in nature, and so they're going to have the time to just build up. Well, let's see. Still give it a shot. Come at you for a point of damage, my dude. Look out. Look out. Damage achieved. Good job, bust. We got all the grumble slugs. Not a bad hit. He hit the good one, that's for certain. Let's bring in the grumble slug. I don't think he's going to attack into us, but it at least gets a good block here. I don't really want to Buster Shot the Sea Scarab, but it's where we might find ourselves. Oh, Champion Strength turned up, though. I mean, that's going to be the game plan on turn 6. Let's do this. I'm going to add the Slug. I'm going to Buster Shot the Sea Scarab, and then we can get a bank next turn. So we still have good attacks here. The Buster Shot onto the Sea Scarab. We can hit with the Commando and the 2 slugs. Maybe chip in a little bit of damage. The next turn we'll be able to play the Bandle Commando along with the Owl that we generate this turn. And we should have a full board going into turn 6 for the Champion Strength. Assuming all goes according to plan. Alright, he brings Abyssal Eye, so we're going to be losing a unit. Nothing we can do about that. Just start playing Owlcats and stuff, see who he takes down. I assume he's going to kill the Bandle Commando here. Or if he takes the hook on Commando, then he gets to hit with the Abyssal Eye. But we'll see. Oh boy, triple jettison, huh? that'll get you deep quick. Jesus. Well, all right then. You did your big thing. Let's see if our big thing is enough. It's a little worrisome trying to do our big thing, and our elusive unit isn't bigger than the Abyssal Eye. Let's see if some of our other friends can do a little bit of magic here. The way that I think this most likely works for him, the way he wants it to go is he's going to play a Drain onto either Grumble Slug or Bandle Commando, and then play a unit. So he's going to have 4 units on board. That shuts down a lot of what we're doing here, but he can't play a card like Vengeance. He just dies. Sure. Well, he can play a card like Vengeance, apparently. It just doesn't, it just doesn't do as much work as you need it to. So I'll leave the Bandle Commando at home. No reason to just give him the free block on the first go-around. And then we'll come in with it on the second attack. But, good stuff. GG. The W has been marked. So this has been good. I feel like across these 4 games, we've really hit like all the angles I was looking to hit with this. We've gotten some of the big Cataclysm plays. We've had the option to Cataclysm with both Impact and Genevieve. We've run into that monster of a play I didn't know about with the with the Impacts and Judgment. We've had these games to where the Inspired Lights and Garen's and Genevieve's bonuses were all good, and then we've had these games to where we got to use our really good board width to build up a Champion Strength. Quite happy that we kind of nailed everything in terms of pulling off this deck's various strategies. All right, so let's see what we can do here. It's a bit of an awkward curve with a hand like this. I'm curious how much opponent's going to be coming at us with removal spells. I think it's safe to take it slow here. Just go for the Tristana plan and protect her with Form Up. It's going to take us a bit of time to
All right, furballs.
to get this Tenor of Terror going, and then otherwise we can look to Grandfather Fae or Wandering Shepherd or whoever. Sure. Coming Mystic Shot. You gotta be scared, Tristana. You gotta be scared. They're coming at you hard. Now a Mayor turns up. I was leaning towards, like, I wanted to play Wandering Shepherd to maybe protect the Tristana a little bit, but now that we picked up Mayor, I think we need to just go for the mana advantages. We took such a bank early. I think we need to make up for it a little bit.
That's okay, Mayor. Just start applauding, furballs.
Okay. So we can fill out the board pretty hard next turn, right? We can we can play the Owlcat as our created unit and then follow up with Tenor of Terror.
Taking point.
Don't want to miss out on this sweet Tristana attack now that she's got the bonus stats. All right, all right. Ooh, and a fresh one turns up for when things eventually go wrong. Nice. All right, so the unit's coming in, whatever. Here's the Owlcat for free. That's our created unit. And we'll follow up with Tenor of Terror. It's going to get us that nice flip onto Tristana. Would have gotten us the nice flip onto Tristana. But we got to back up.
Looking splendid, sir. Very mayoral.
You know it's had him mustache a key, you know? Inspires trust in all right?
Is that the angle we want to take with this? I should have slowed my roll just a little bit to decide if we wanted to maybe play the Poro Sled instead. But also interesting addition with Genevieve. It's just like, this Genevieve has to be so good, right? She's going to let us attack the Flash Bomb Peddler and then get a hook in onto the Chump Wump, just get the board fully cleared out. I dig it.
When crime calls, a reply is proper.
Hold nothing back.
I dig it.
Oh, that's a harvest right there.
You did good, Genevieve. What you got? My dude, he's got 3 mana left. It's okay. We got metric shit ton of cards in hand. I think that's the proper description for the amount of cards that we have. He's just going for the damage prevent. He's got a ton of flash bombs in here, so if he can, survive the turn and then get us to draw a bunch of cards, he has a reasonable chance to get some board clear, but we have so much refill that I feel pretty safe either way.
Well, what have we here?
And of course, champion strength. Why not? Why not, right?
Oh, I'm prepared, traitor.
Why not? So I don't think this Teemo even really matters. I'm adding the Bandle Commando either way, but as long as we're getting our board filled out next turn, this is okay. Might as well just go for the other one, right? He seems pretty upset about his Teemo not getting to deal damage. All right, Caitlyn, you're fine. Now, I noticed this earlier. I was looking through my deck lists on runeterra.ar, seeing if there was anything inspirational in there in terms of Tristana, and I forgot that we have the Earnest Elf Tristana skin over on the main account. don't have that one here, and so it's a bit of a misplay if you ask me. Not bringing the appropriate skins with you to battle, but I think it'll make do. All right, well, this one's done.
Karina? What brings
I think so. We're not dead, right? It's not enough puff caps to kill us in here, is there? Ooh, Caitlyn flips.
As they say, makes perfect.
F. Is that enough? I mean, it's been 14 traps. God damn it. Let's see. We can't immediately be attacking with our regular units. Let's improvise Tristana and see if we can't find Overwhelm. Did not.
You take one Yordle photo and suddenly geography means nothing.
Bit of a bummer.
Let's cook 'em.
Right, if Caitlyn gets the chance to strike, she's going to hit us for 14, and so we can't just be sending the whole squad in. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? It looks like we're going to get the kill either way, but we definitely had to make a change of plans to accommodate this Tristana, or accommodate this Caitlyn. As I was sending in that Bandle Commando, I was a little worried. I can't remember if cards like Ambush are still in the format. You never know what you're going to run into with this stuff. I know Sumpworks map is still in it. I've had to deal with people playing the PNZ Cultist that generates the 2-cost cards and having them generate Sumpworks map and then do weird shit with elusives, but I don't think I've seen Ambush in quite a while. Alright though, GG. Moving up the ranks, being masters soon, I'm sure. Bringing that real heat in with the Tristanas. Okay, Gnar and Nora. This is the Lord Broadmane deck. Reasonable start. I think we should be pretty decent. Like the Broadmane deck is typically really good at shutting down big units, right? And so they'll be able to like use Disintegrates and Lord Broadmane to kill units that just have a bunch of stats. Ideally, we can just get in front of that. So here I'm going to add the Wandering Shepherd. It doesn't feel super worthwhile to play Bandle City Mayor and just have it get popped by a removal spell. I think taking it at least a little bit slow should give us the opportunity to play Bandle City Mayor next turn and then play Grandfather Fae. So we're a little bit more aggressive with this route that we've taken. I think I dig it, especially if we can get opponent to come out and spend a bunch of mana.
Oh dear.
Persistence is key.
Sure.
I flopped.
Oh dear.
So it seems like we should be able to do some mayoring. Alright, opponent hits their portal right away, but it is unfortunately for them a Shark Chariot. Don't have to worry about that dum-dum coming back. Now in here, I'd like something a little bit more on the expensive end of things. I'm kind of okay with Bandle Painter. That's something else that can kind of chain into expensive stuff. So let's take a look at it. We can discard some of these kind of mid-rangey options like the Grandfather Fae. We can discard an Owl, whatever. Look for something that costs like 4+ mana. Not used to seeing this deck play Bandle City Mayor, though. That seems new to me. I guess it makes sense. Just a nice value card, but I don't think we typically see it out of this thing.
From all the regions we are one.
What you gonna do? Looks like he's about to do something mean. About to do something mean, huh?
Retreating bravely.
Come on. Got another kitty. Another kitty wanted to hang out. Let's see what we can do here. We have a few options, right? I mean, I want to get our free unit on the board as fast as we can. And now I'm just kind of looking at saying, like, all right, well, what if we play Bandle Commando and put Upcycled Rake on it? It's going to give us, ideally, some good attacks and a unit that he doesn't really want to kill that he's probably going to have to kill. So I think I'm on board with this plan. Oh. There we go. Thought it was going to be a double kitty video today, but just Pepper for the moment. She's very happy. Glad to be hanging out. No, she's not. She's immediately... She's taking a note from her son and jumping up and immediately running away. Walk around in circles just meowing at me. Okay. Oh my gosh, she's got stuck on my mouse cord. Oh, Jesus. Fucking animals. Come on. Come on. Okay, I think we're better. It wouldn't be a battles with bust without at least some kind of hindrance via cat. And so alright. Let's get back to it. This is a little unfortunate. I did start to have some pretty grand visions on that turn to where we're going to be getting two owls, attacking with two owls because we got to play one, and then coming in again for a like the discard to the Bandle Painter, but just didn't come together. Opponent's got some pretty good cards coming out of the Bandle City Mayors. Oh, we don't even get to pick? The fuck? Discard one to create. I thought we got to manifest one. What a terrible card. All right. Let's just get salty about it. That's the appropriate course of action.
I'll defend these forests to the end.
But got some meat on the board now. I'm not feeling real great about this. It's dragged on pretty long. Opponent's still at 20. Not really going to be attacking for much damage this turn.
Sometimes you're the fish, sometimes you're the bait.
These woods
Maybe we just need to pick up a champion strength or something, but we'll see. Start punching in harder. Ooh, we wallops. Okay. No disintegrate onto Genevieve, though. We'll just go with this. All of our units are bigger than all of his units. He can take the small block with, like, Bandle City Mayor onto Grandfather Faye, but the rest of these blocks are doo-doo.
I'm sorry.
cup of tea? Fine by me.
Good one? Alright, well, Overwhelm's not bad. Assuming we can kill off the Hookmaster and then get a then get a Tristana at some point. Fearsome Nora. Got it, my dude, you got it. There's Trist.
Skip and a hop.
Alright, can't block.
To and fro and to.
So the thing that's kind of miserable for this turn is if we want to get the Overwhelm equipment off of our Ionian Hookmaster, but we don't have a way for this unit to just come in and die. So it's gonna be a problem. I don't feel like opponents are really just gonna solve the problem for us this turn, though. We might get an open spot if he kills off Tristana this turn. I suspect he's going to want to wait until next turn, though, before he kills off Trist. Oh, using the pastry? All right. So let's improvise down here on Bandle Commando. That'll put the scout equipment back in our hand. Then we can put the scout equipment onto Bandle Gunners. Hopefully it's going to get into some nasty shenanigans this next turn. It's already protected for the moment, and opponent shouldn't have good blocks on it.
Enders out here.
Alright. Out of cards, but let's see what we can do. Champion strength. it's the appropriate answer every time.
Meat face. Yes, I'm the bait.
So we'll have 6 impact if we drop in the Bandle Gunners. Not gonna be anywhere near lethal this turn, but
Oh, the suspense is terrible. I hope it lasts.
these are hopefully scary units for opponent.
I think I'm quite ready for a new adventure.
It's a scary Nora. I give her that. How many portals does he have? 2? Alright. So how nasty can we get here, right? We can start replaying a bunch of equipment. I'm looking to put the Shepherd's Authority onto the Hookmaster, and then take the equipment from the Hookmaster and put it over on a Bandle Commando. Let's try and get maximum usage out of our stats here.
Respect to seize bounty and all that.
I'm armed. Am I armed?
All right, let's see how it goes. 27 coming in. That's a big number, right? Of course it is. Of course it is, Bust. You're right. That is a big number. Now, here's what I was kind of hoping would happen. He's going to have to either move Nora or move Lord Broadmane over to our Bandle Commando that has Overwhelm on it now. Looks like he's chosen Lord Broadmane. That's fine. Get a healthy chunk of damage in. Now, we most certainly have to win the game on our next attack. There's no way to think of this otherwise. He's got Nora on board. She's flipped. He's playing the control deck thing here. And so if we don't win on our next attack, we're in a real bind. But we're hopefully okay in the sense that we have all these spell-shielded Bandle Commandos on board. The thing that's making me worried and where I think we may have messed this up is we don't have the ability to block Nora with the Bandle Commando. So
We have them now.
how bad is this? A Giant Fearsome and a Trifarian Assessor. Okay. Buster Shock coming in to clean up the Nora.
Cooking with lead.
Alright, it's getting close, fam. That's a very odd open attack. Like, at this stage of the game, really surprised he didn't bring in something a little more. But how are we going to do this? We need to basically win off of impact. So I think we're going to need the Scout. Let me think on this. Is the open attack with the Bandle Gunners just good enough? It is at the moment. Right? It would be 4 Overwhelm through the Nora, and then 3 impact for the kill. So I'm going to hang on to the Buster Shot, see if we need to weaken up a unit or something to try and get this final point of damage in. And otherwise, we're hanging high. We're high hopes, hoping for a lot out of this Bandle Gunners. Let's go ahead and heal it a little bit. This could be relevant. He doesn't have the Lord Broadmane anymore. There's a Lord Broadmane now. So yeah, not feeling good about this, but we still have our angle, right? We found this way to potentially get a victory, so we're gonna go for it.
Heck of a catch, yeah?
And Tristana comes in. She's not gonna be enough. Well, not entirely true. We can play Tristana and give her Scout.
Scouts wear helmets. Gunners carry
I don't think we have to care about slow spells. There's a few, but I don't think they're relevant enough. Okay, GG. But you see what I'm kind of saying with that game. If you thought back to like 3 games ago to where we had the lethal and didn't do it, and we were probably going to win the game anyways, but we were getting ourselves into a spot to where, you know, we have to actually kind of fight for it. I think that's probably what opponent, you know, ran into there. I'm really surprised that they came in and open attacked when they had such good equipments in their hand and they had like 4 cards in hand. I'm trying to think of what from our side we would be playing at slow speed that would really give them some concern. And I guess Cataclysm's a valid answer, but he didn't like attack to win the game, and so it's very odd to me. Nonetheless, GG. On to the next one. Let's see what we can do here. Nothing about this hand as a keeper. Get rid of that. A little bit better now. Get these little spell shielded birds on the board. See what Heimerdinger Jace thinks of that. Champion Strength, always interesting. I'm going to lead with the Grumble Slug here. If he's going to come at us with Quietus, I want to kind of slow down the process here. I don't think this deck usually plays Shock Blast, so we don't have to worry about the 2-for-1s coming in. Okay. Here comes the booms. All right, the old 1-2 punch, if you will. the Grumble Slug, the Fey, the board width, and then coming in with the Inspired Light. I dig it. So we're gonna get everybody down, right? We'll play the Slug. Jace can attack. We're just gonna ignore it. Can come in with the Grandfather Fey. Next turn, we can get both the Combat Cook and the Owlcat on board, and then play Inspired Light. And hopefully that gets us in a good spot in terms of having a Champion Strength 2 attacks away. Interesting. I don't think I'm used to seeing Heimerdinger Jace play High Note. Another Champion Strength. So it's like, this is tough. I usually lean towards just picking the quick attack because it makes this attack here right now good, but I think 2 turns from now we're going to want the Overwhelm. The way I'm kind of envisioning winning this game is we're going to play the Inspired Light. We're going to have the good board. Well, having the unit makes this a little bit more painful because now we can block both of our Owlcats. I was wanting to put the Overwhelm on the Owlcat next turn so we would have a overwhelming, scouty, giant, spell-shielded Owlcat. So I think I'm going to keep them at home and try and save them for the Champion Strength turn. It seems like a little much to be giving them away now. And Garen. Well, it's like I was interested in Buster shotting the Jace, but you know, I think we just play Garen now, right?
Ah, the sweet smell of science.
Sure beats the smell of burning workshops.
All right, well, YOLO, right? That's what everybody says these days.
My heart and sword for Demacia.
I think that's what everybody says. The kids still use those words, and so it's bound to be safe. We're never blocking this Jace. It's too easy for him to have a burn spell or a the AoE something. Just 1 point of damage is very easy for this deck to do. We're not getting in front of him. I understand his concern for not attacking. If we have a combat trick to counter his burn spell, then he's in a bit of a bind, but let's go. Spell shieldy, scouty, big stat owls. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. You gotta be saying, uh-oh now, old cousin Gozado. Got him. GG. Alright. The final battle is here. The last battle is upon us. Good set of games so far. Let's see what we can do. I'm curious, like, as you see these games play out and the way that these have gone, like, how many games would we have won if we had a might compared to how many games we would win by having the champion strength and all of these good Demacia cards? I'm curious how that would actually play itself out. But up against Pantheon, I'm curious what to keep here. It's like I want to hang on to Bandle City Mayor, but we really need to find a 2-drop. I guess we can risk it. This feels like if we roll into turn 3 and our first play is Tristana, then we're going to be hurting real hard. I feel like I kept too much utility with this. We have a few more draws at it, but that's probably a little greedy. It's like now we got to hope to play the Bandle City Mayor and hit a 1-cost unit just to get a dude on the board.
Scouts wear helmets.
Well,
Gunners carry guns.
see what he does with this white flame. Yeah, he makes life hard. It's like if you get the Tristana on board, you have the opportunity to Buster Shot for the cheap, and that's what I was hoping. I was hoping he was just gonna attack. It's really tough in that spot to just not have anything, though. So maybe that was a little greedy.
I do have a speech here. Where did I put it?
That's okay, Mayor. Just start
Taking the seedling just gives us a way to finally get on board a little bit. He goes overwhelmed. That's fine. We can't get this nice blast cone seedling takedown. Sad noise. All right.
For king and country.
Enough grief.
So are we just gonna go for it big next turn? we found ourselves in this spot again to where we're looking to just play a judgment. Huh. How's this realistically gonna go? Like a part of me likes just throwing down and putting stats in front of his units so that we can finally weaken up this dragon. Like if we can get this dragon off the board, we're kind of okay. It's a little worrisome in the sense that he's got 2 Harazis, right? So if we answer this shit on board, he's immediately going to follow up on turn 8 with a bunch of dudes. And I'm not certain we'll be able to handle that. What's his angle here? Let's do this. I'm going to put the seedling in front of this guy. It's going to fall to 3 health, and then we can try to Buster Shot. Let's put Garen out here in front as well. So if he tries to put his Pale Cascade onto Yulia, then we can still kill the Wounded White Flame after combat. Like, we got to just clear this board out. It's fine. You fought hard, Garen, but it wasn't your day, my dude. And Chain Vest, right? That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know. Combat Cook coming in, picking up a quick attack. Not bad. Maybe find a nice Cataclysm for the turn. Probably don't want to, right? If we think about this for a moment, we probably want to save our Cataclysm for next turn with Genevieve. I think I'm on board with that. Tristana attack is too dangerous here, though.
We're off on a new adventure.
Kind of annoying. I wanted to get a Genevieve attack in to where she could survive and then get a secondary attack in after the fact. See if we're gonna get that option. We don't have to play Genevieve, right? We can play something else, but this passes. The other thing I'm kind of looking at and considering is we do have some good cataclysms, especially coming off of the Combat Cook. If we send Combat Cook in, he's able to do some nice things. Let's just play Garen.
My heart and sword for Demacia.
He's up to some kind of shenanigan over here, right? That's just so odd to see him pass. I mean, I guess it's okay to just like let Yuumi grow and play Harazi next turn. We aren't presenting that much scariness, but it's very odd to see them just stop. Does it really just have a handful of like weird combat tricks? Because we do have the potential to win the game with an open attack next turn.
I will cherish.
Interesting. So who has Yuumi? This dum-dum on the left? The shepherd? Let's see how this goes. Has to be what's happening, right? He's just got a bunch of combat tricks with Harazi. Like, if he had Pantheon, he would have played it. Stuff just doesn't make sense otherwise. Now, if we're looking to play into Harazi, are we okay to just drop Genevieve now? Which I think is good. We're also going to be able to play this other Inspired Light. Because, right, if he's going to take all of his mana and just play Harazi, then we can look to just hook out of combat. So weird he's not playing anything. What am I missing? Is it Judgment? I mean, Judgment makes a little sense. To where he's just not spending any mana. Is that where we bring it? Maybe since we just picked up a Tristana. Let's attack with Tristana. Has to be Judgment, right? I don't know. Maybe we read into this too far, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Yeah, it's fine. All right, so now we attacked with Tristana since we have this other one as a backup. Let's see if he adds Harazi here. Don't know if we're going to be able to recover out of this. That was pretty big. Just our Tristana and our Bandle Gunners are so bad at this point. Interesting. He just does not like Darken. That's wild. Well, we can take a 7 hit from the Wandering Shepherd and shut down these other units. I think that's at least safe, and then this will give us a chance to build up a little bit for next turn. Can't imagine he attacks with anything that isn't Wandering Shepherd. Maybe he does because he can get a 5/5 Vayne now, but... Huh, that's interesting. He just gave up a ton of board. I don't know, man. I guess you can add Harazi now, but that is wild. He's got Yuumi, the Harazis, and then one card we don't know about. Sucks our hand's so bad. You know? Huh.
What else can I fight for but life?
Ow. Okay, he's got Overwhelm. I don't think it's enough if we block with the slug. Sure. That was such a weird game. It's I don't know, man. I really enjoy putting a Darken on the board. Maybe I've played just way too much Anaka over the past month or so, but that just looked like a lot of ample opportunity to start adding Darken to the board and just being like, nope, I'm gonna play I'm gonna play a 3-mana unit instead. Interesting. All right, though. Nonetheless, good set of games, not a bad set of battles whatsoever. And I feel like, there's some definite promise with this deck. I could kind of like say right out the gates. I'm curious. It's like it's tough to balance, right, in terms of having enough multi-faction units in your deck to get your cards going, but also not having them be shitty. And my concern with a lot of these decks is if you're coming out and playing things like Bandle Commando and Grandfather Fay and Tenor of Terror, those aren't good cards on their own. They need a lot of stuff around them to be useful. And if you start to build into that too much, you start to run into that spot to where you're half-assing your deck, right? You're starting to try and do 2 and 3 and 4 different things, and it works really nicely that one game where everything comes together magically, but in all the other games it's just trash because you have 4 separate things going on, but you only drew 2 parts of it. And so that was my ultimate worry with this style of deck, is that you just have too many units that don't quite synergize together. But I thought that this worked out pretty nice. That we did run into a couple of problems, like in that last game, to where we kept Tristana and we kept the Bandle City Mayor, and we didn't have any cheap units to go with it. I think we learned our lesson with that game, and if we could go back and redo it, we probably would have just kept the Bandle City Mayor and then searched for a 2-drop. But lessons learned. The meta is still young and the decks are still new. But in terms of the things to talk about here, it's so interesting to me. It's like people love to play Might so much, and I feel like I should be in that camp as well, as much as I love to play Noxus in the aggressive decks. But I really just don't see very many situations where Might is good. And I just love being able to move away from that being a requirement in your deck, and then still being powerful enough to come in and close out these games. And so I liked what this deck did. I thought the rallies were good, the champion strengths were good, the cataclysms were all good. I could see tweaking a few numbers in here. Like, I don't feel like I ever really wanted Tenor of Terror. Like, maybe you could get away with 1 copy, but that feels like a space to where you want to say play 3 combat cooks and then just either 0 or 1 Tenor of Terrors. Because our deck just didn't need it today. And otherwise, maybe there's like a room to tweak around a unit or 2 or a spell or 2. But I think for a first go, a first pass, a day 1 deck, this was a pretty good thing. And so, again, the things that I have to say about Tristana was I liked this. I don't like playing Might. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend playing Jax either. Jax lets you in that spot to where you're playing Jax for Combat Cook and Fish Fight. And if you really want to play Combat Cook and Fish Fight, just play Demacia, right? You can play Vayne or something or whatever. You get access to those spells and the good cards without having to just be limited to the weapon masters, right? The only thing that you get out of adding Jackson is you get to play the Attune, like the 3-cost Attune, and then you might get to play like 1 copy of the discard a card, draw 2. And other than that, you don't want any of the cards because they're all terrible. And so just look towards Demacia. I'll go ahead and sneak you that little nugget now. But nonetheless, good set of games. I had fun. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or 2 along the way, and you had a good time watching. So this is Bust, and we thank you for being here.